Hello, this is back with more The Elder Scrolls, or TES, Oblivion Remastered. We're continuing where we left off, and yeah, we're heading back into the city, of course. Obviously, I am casting the Blessing of Might spell several times here, but it costs, of course, 200, so for 46 seconds, so 300, of course, 18 is the maximum that we currently have, but yeah. Now, of course, one thing that I thought about, for example, is that the course, okay, of course, what would be the skills that they would get? For example, like combat skill would lose one skill, combat would lose athletics, acrobatics, or for example, a medic would lose alchemy. Both of those, make it so that they have 7 skills each. So combat have 7 skills, stealth has 7 skills, and magic has 7 skills. But if you remove athletics from combat, then combat now all of a sudden only has combat now only has yeah, you get what I'm getting. Hopefully this doesn't use up the repair hammer here. Oh, it did use up the repair hammer. Okay, good. So then we know at least the progress here. Oh, I might need less than 10, but
Hello.
Hi.
It is the one that's upstairs. It's the red guard. Mojo!
Good day. You finished? Excellent. Good work, Gil. You've been doing a good job.
Hell yeah, Gordian!
I understand Orain is looking for you again. Get to Coral and take care.
Quest added trots sort of thinking. Okay, we save. So next is gonna be the highest rank, I think. Right, unless there is like a guild master position. I forgot if there was a correct guild master rank. Because otherwise there should only be one rank more after this. So the Guardian now, and then there's Champion rank. So that's it. It should be good, of course. I cast a spell. Wait, is it him that is, or is it her?
You've got a lot to learn.
Oh, okay.
Go hurt something.
I'm Rook.
Not to answer now.
You've got a lot to learn.
I might as well gain a few levels in this, because they're not super expensive. Okay.
Go to it.
Because, I mean, if you got a lot of money anyways, just to spend on training, it can be good, of course. Because, really, that's the way that you do it. For example, if you want to reach all skills to the absolute maximum, there are several things that you can do. For example, to raise unarmed, you can, for example, watch the ones train outside the arena, of course. And then there are certain quests, for example, like the whole Grey Prince training in both athletics, blade, and block, for example, and stuff like that, and also 3 points each. Stuff that you gain permanently and stuff like that, so there are certain quest things that you can get at this day, and well, yeah.
Captain Dougal's.
I know we used to say before, but still.
Rumored treasure has to be true.
Oops.
Hello there. Kept upright. Take your time. What can I interest you in?
Boy only has 1200.
Another. I would gladly.
So that should give you more money to have.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sale
good.
here. What can I interest you in?
More Claymore.
That's more than I'd usually pay. A good price for a good customer.
Do we sell the Warhammer though? Oh man. I mean, the Warhammer is heavy and everything, but or do we just sell the Vegeta one? Do we use the one-handed blade? No, we don't. Potion of healing. How much are you? Okay. So the potion of healing. So cure disease because we can use visit and alter for that anyway. Chameleon is pretty good though, but still sell. Sell Morning Star. Sell Blazing Spear. So Blazing Spear, don't sell Beguile because Beguile is Charm. Cloak we wanna have actually, because that's a 75% chameleon effect.
You got a great deal there.
Get the spell under. Awaken Blast. Lion Pelts.
That's a fair deal. That seems a fair price.
Magical Drain. Superior Magical Drain.
You got a great deal.
So the Seas. Wolf Pelts. Yeah, that's the daily stuff that I sold. Okay.
I appreciate. Bye.
Okay, so that's mercantile is now at that value. Right, so that makes it so that yeah, all merchants have more gold available. You can invest in a shop to permanently increase that merchant's available gold. You always buy and sell items at the best price possible. Merchants offer you the best items they have.
Armor, weapons, I have it all. How may I help you?
So you have repair hammers, right? Correct. I need 10 of your hammers, please. So,
Thank you. You too.
right. And then we go to we should actually make some of those strength enchants otherwise. But strength enchants are just worthless and stuff that, which, you know, I would agree is true. And stuff that, because, you know, because if we used to go with more magic, then we can make a more powerful version of the spell. Yeah. Alright, then let's repair first here. If there's anything to repair. Repair try that once. So that's only 20. But then now you can see now the bug is here that I cannot go over to that side here. For example, I cannot do nothing there. Right. Sometimes this fixes it. So that, but also sometimes you might just want to do this. Like you equip, you unequip. You see there on the character there as well. Now there is something that in the original game was an item that actually had the same like look that like the Amulet of Kings have and stuff that, you know. But yeah, but for example, I shouldn't have enhanced this helm. Even though I think this helm looks dope, because this is of course based on an ebony design. So that, you know, yeah, so that's an ebony helmet. So that, yeah. Now I kind of wish that there were something that allowed you to, for example, like upgrade like armors and stuff like that. So, or at least so that you could quote unquote, because I know that you might say that, oh, those are for transmog purposes, but there is no like transmog in the game. You cannot make an armor look a certain way. Like I kind of wish that after a certain level, they would make it so that all armor sets would have the same amount of armor and stuff that eventually, so that, oh, want to dress up in all elf and like go for it and stuff that. So you can just put powerful enough enchants on any piece of armor to basically be immune to damage, because you would just need like shield spells to be immune to physical. But supposedly there is a certain type of resist spell that gives you both like magic resist and like physical resistance. That's it. So they decrease a greater soul. Find magic. Plus it doesn't work. Now it works. So. Enchant. I've created a new enchant item. And a repair call, so we can get that up. Greaves. Create a soul. 45 magic. Oh. He says Popo. Okay, good. Alright. We are that. Good. Right. Repair. And maybe it's better to not go for the 24-1 and stuff that, just because, you know. So, boots. Bra, där såg jag sen. Okay, so we have on gloves now. We have 45 magic plus 20, and 45 magic plus 20 on the chest piece and on the greaves, and we did it also on the boots as well. Of course, we will also need it on the shield, but we are not going to go for the orcish ones to enchant, of course, obviously. So yeah. So we have 358 medical with that, meaning we can actually cast the. No, we cannot. Right, Leon Hands is 363 to cast. How much cast do we have? We only have 1,332 now, so we couldn't have done that anyway. Go back to living area. Right, and we got that. Okay, Reeves of the Sun is of course Ebony. Right, because they are Greaves. I mean, they are pretty good though. Let's see, get that. Get Orcish Grace, get Orcish Helmet. Just a Claymore, yeah, that's a 200 Claymore. And that had 167 uses. And I kind of wish the Bruce of Set was better. No, actually, maybe it's Mithril that's actually a recolor of. It might be Mithril, actually. There's a recolor of that, kind of makes sense. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think we. No, we don't need to repair any of those, so we have Ebony Boots. We have Graves of the Sun we can sell. We have some more stuff for money now. That's a good idea. Now that's a good idea. Right. Wait, no, not spell first. No, not spell first. Money first. Squadala, we're off. Squadala, we're there. It's Jida. And then Jida goes Nappa. Eventually I want to put all those stuff inside the thing as well, but yeah. But for example, like the spell, of course, the Blessing of Might, we need to make a more powerful version of that, of course, obviously, but yeah. Now, obviously, if we get the Sigil Stone, for example, like, I don't know if the Sigil Stone only works once, because if the Sigil Stone only works once, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because they open at 8 most shops. There is although one certain shop somewhere. I forgot what shop it was. There was a shop that actually opened at like 11 or 12 or something like that, which was very, very weird. And so you have
only quality goods for sale here.
1500.
Goodbye.
Okay, so can I?
Only quality goods for sale.
Oh, she gets it automatically. So wait, so once I invest into another shop, all shops get it. I don't know if that's a bug or if that's how it worked in the original. So sell Ebony Boots, of course. Boom. Sell Grace of the Sun. Sell Orcish Grace.
I'd usually pay.
Sell Orcish Helmet. And sell a Dreaded Gorehammer for 2,500 gold. Oh man, 2,500 is the maximum she has though.
Thank you for your... Have a look around. You won't find better prices in all Tamriel. Always keep your magical equipment charged.
So that's 1,100. Okay, so that's 1,600 shards on that.
Let's do business.
So we have some Grand Soul. It's common soul, Grand Soul. Okay, so we want the Grand Soul.
I wouldn't make that deal with just anybody. Thank you for your bit. Be seeing you.
Right, so there's only one more enchant to do there. For example, like only one more enchant to do there. Oh. No, I'm gonna.
Take your time. Please, go on. I offer the finest goods and lowest prices in all Cyrodiil.
Do you have a one? Oh, that's a lesser soul. Common soul. Very soul. Great soul though. But I really want grand ones if possible. You still sell hands of the Antimac though.
No one. You too.
Hey, where is the... Right, let's go rest at the inn. Actually, let's go to our hideout. Hideout. So I mean, we got one expensive enchant we can do, of course, because we got one grand soul. Yeah. The grand soul. We do have a soul trap spell technically, right? What is the target? Is it a touch spell? Yeah, we have that. We have a soul trap spell there. But for example, you can of course make a soul trap on your like a weapon and stuff like that instead of having to cast a spell and stuff like that. But yeah.
Great.
Heard any news from the other province?
Or cute little house. Which is 2,000 and then it's like 600 or 650 or whatever it is for each of the stuff. So let's rest. Wait, what do we have in here again? We have a bunch of stuff. We also have some daily carols. Which actually I might bring with us. Right, so we'll go with speed. With that, go with 2 points into personality. Are we still affected by the negative personality? Min minus is okay. But we're actually affected by several ones here now. So that's only a 20 plus. But also 24 though. This one is 20. But I kind of wish they made it so that you could. Maybe that should be the first one. So basically, so I thought about a bunch of skills. For example, I have already written this in comments. I don't remember all of the stuff, but one of the things would be enchanting, which of course would be just go into magic, which would allow you to put more pine enchants on like a piece of like armor and stuff like that. right? So you could have like multiplier and stuff that, but yeah. But it should also probably make it so that you can like re-enchant something that would probably be at the lowest level. Just make it so that you can actually re-enchant something. So if you have like a weak enchant, you could replace it like with a strong enchant or something like that. Right, and now back to Frostcrag Spire. Back to the Frostcrag again. Yeah, we haven't even done the first Oblivion yet. No, almost level 30. Mercantile is now at 78. Of course, because the more expensive something you sell is like way better and stuff like that. But yeah, Speedcast is probably going to be the last thing that we do. But if I remember correctly, right, you can make a charm spell theoretically, and then you could have 100 even, regardless of how bad you are, and then we could spam the thing to level up the thing. Unless we just get a shit ton of gold and just like find the trainers, stuff like that. But the trainers are of course only 5 per level, stuff like that, you know. So something, Athletic Boots, Grand Soul, 45 Magica, and we go it. Yes. Pecking order. Create a new enchant item. Right, and none of these have a soul in it. No, Grand Soul Gem, Red Soul Gem, nope. So 45, 20, 24 on the ring, 24 on the amulet, and then 20 on the other ring. And yeah, 24 on boots. Okay, and once we reach that, one hammer lasts a lifetime, which is really good. So now we're at how much? We are at 382 Magica, so now we're similar to what the previous one was at. So we can now cast the really good healing spell. We can now cast the Greater Holy Light. But we can also cast the Lay on Hand spell, which is a 500 heal. So it goes absolutely massive. So now, sadly, of course, certain spells are of course going to be expensive no matter what. But to be honest, like Lay on Hands is 363 and stuff like that. Now you could theoretically also, for example, like if you could have had multiple enchants, then what you would want aside from like 45 magic, you would probably want like 45. What is it? 45. You probably want to have like 45 intelligence and stuff like that, because I believe that the intelligence points of 100 still give you magic at all. Same thing like how having more strength still gives us some health and some like carry weight and stuff like that. And strength is really good for the whole carry weight. So and stuff like that, because yeah. Because basically if they could have had an something skill, for example, like if they made a new, for example, like instead of just combat magic, like I'm calling it blank for now basically, but it would have alchemy in it. It would have athletics in it. It would have acrobatics in it, and it would have mercantile, and it would have speechcraft. And then, of course, because that's only 5, 6, 7, it would need 2 more, and stuff like that. And of course, since magic is losing alchemy, magic would get enchanting. Since strength is losing athletics, the strength thing, that means that or the combat one is losing athletics. That means that combat gets something else. In combat, you get unarmored, in my opinion. And unarmored would basically mean that if you wear no armor, then you get more armor rating, which would of course work for like a monk style build. But it should also make it so that if you have unarmored, but only if you have unarmored as a major skill, then your hand to hand will deal more damage. So you basically, if you go hand to hand, you always want to have unarmored, because unarmored would then give you more damage via the hand to hand. Of course, you can break the game via the hand to hand, even though hand to hand is not a weapon itself. But for example, hand to hand here gives you paralyze, for example, or not paralyze. Power takes have a chance to rearm you. Yeah, you do fatigue damage, so eventually they will fall over. Stuff like that, but there are ways to like cast paralyze on something, for example. So that's yes. So did we want to make a spell? Yes. So what is it? Our maximum magic is at was it 382? Good. So first off, we make a fortified strength. We make the magnitude 100. Okay, so okay. Right there, blessing of might. Nice, so regular blessing of might is 100 for 46 seconds. This one, the blessing of king series, for example, it's 50 strength on self, and then 45 health by 100 as well, and stuff like that on the king's tier. Now, how much skills do we have left? I wonder what's the strongest, like, all black. Because I believe, right, that for example, if we put Footfire and attribute, for example, can we actually make? Let's put it at 60 though. Yourself. Because there was a bug when I tried to create this spell before when I couldn't sync this to self. Or because this would get expensive way too fast. Yeah. So maybe if I think oh, you can actually. Right, so. Okay. For attribute strength. Yeah, we can't afford that yet. What if we take 25? If I bring you down to 25. How many attributes can we have? Speed, intelligence, strength. Because even if it's a short buff, right, it would still be like insane. So strength, intelligence, willpower we have put. He maybe not make the effect as powerful. Yeah, maybe I should reduce the magnitude to 75 instead. Let's actually try that. I'm making ridiculously spell because I mean it's like okay, how much longer? Okay, good. Right. Because then maybe 30 seconds could be possible. Because I want to reach a point where we don't need to recast the spell too often when it's not too expensive, basically. Speed, intelligence, strength, willpower. Strength, intelligence, willpower. Speed, intelligence, strength, willpower, agility, endurance. So speed, intelligence, strength, willpower, agility, endurance. Okay. Make sure it's self. Strength, intelligence, willpower, agility. We have already taken agility correct. I hope we have now. Speed, intelligence, strength, willpower, agility, endurance, personality. And then we need luck as well. Två, tre, fyra, fem, sex, sju, åtta. Hit stats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can we get away with only 30 though? Because then maybe I could buff up the length of the things. I need to make sure that all of them are self also as well. Okay. So all of them are set on self. No. Okay. What seconds is still very, very decent though, if it's possible. Because you have to realize that each of these is a big increase because there's so many stats. I want to see like what is the highest possible we can get away with here. Because you have to go realize also that when you use to a small increase, then you can get away with a lot more here. Can we get away with... Because, I mean, it would be crazy if we can get 50 seconds. But still, even if it's only 30 points, right, like, it's still, like, you know, absolutely massive. Can we get away with 50? Did we have something like 380 or something like that? Min-maxing that. "51 seconds." Might say, yeah, sure, not all of these spells are useful and stuff. That like not all of these stats are useful. Can we get away with 52 on everything? Greater bless of kings. So this is 30 points. So this is an insane spell. So that is 50 strength and 100 health for like 30 seconds. Blessing of Might is of course 100 46 seconds. Then we had of course the Greater Blessing of Might, which was 100 strength for 87 seconds. The Greater Blessing of Kings, which cost 380, which basically pretty much the entire magic pool almost at this point. It's, yeah, 30 speed, 30 intelligence, 30 strength, 30 willpower, 30 agility, and 30 endurance, 30 personality, and 30 luck. So some of these are 51 second effects and 52 second effects, so yes. So that is for 380, which is almost the maximum. Keep in mind, of course, that as far as enchantments go, we still have a gauntlet we can enchant, we still have a shield we can enchant, and a helmet. So there's 3 more pieces that we can put magic on and stuff like that. So if we would only go with, for example, if we would only go with the 21, then there will be 20, 40, 60 more magica we could go with. So then we would end up with over 400. But keep in mind that once you get the sigil stone, we will be able to, for example, put 50 magica on each of the pieces of equipment and stuff like that. So yes. And of course, keep in mind that once we reach the really huge magica pool, for example, from having that type of equipment, then what we can do is create a Fortify magica spell. And then the Fortify magica spell that we create can be the maximum magnitude of 100. And then this 100 spell, the 100, for example, the 100, Fortify magica spell, will then be able to last like 120 seconds, like no problem at all. Except that because that's going to be the most expensive, like Fortify magica spell that we can create. Because it would be like Blessing of Wisdom or Arcane Intellect or something like that. But yeah. For example, and then we would be able to create something that has like blood that has like Fortify magica by 100, and probably also something that gives you intelligence black plus 100 as well. Maybe even on the same spell and stuff like that. How much money do we have now? I want to see here though if we create a 45 Magica. I actually think we already have a 45 Magica spell actually. Self-right 45 Magica, we do have the 30 points there. A great 45 Magica is just a regular spell that we bought, which is like basically like 60 points for 60 seconds. That hardly costs anything, so what's the best one we can make so far? Self, magnitude 100. Yeah, that's absolutely no problem. 45 Magica 100. 45 attribute. So that could also be good. The willpower used to have an effect. So, okay. So that put self. I mean, do that for now. 45 intelligence. And then also 45 willpower just. Because those are one that affects magic, then that increases magic black region. 100 again here. Okay, so actually bring it down to 75 here. Only these effects bring down to 75. Okay. Bring it down to 50. Again, I want to see basically. So we could create that. Do I used to actually do this instead? Instead of just go that, we could just go down to 70 or to whatever the point was. 50 points. No. So maybe 75. 75. 75. 80. 80. 80. Because I feel like 50 would be good enough, right? And then this would just be Blessing of Wisdom. let's take 44, 94 then, just to be on the safe side. So that's 50 magic on self, 50 intelligence on self, and 50 willpower on self. That's course blessing of wisdom. Okay. So let's get the blessing of kings, which is a 30 on every stat for 52 seconds. But of course the blessing over here, this blessing is gonna be pretty dope. The blessing of wisdom. This is 278, which is pretty expensive. Of course, 278. We can afford we have 382. So, you know. So yeah, and if we cast this, that now brings our stats to 523 there. So 147, 147, intelligence and willpower. Just start quickly and make it increase your maximum fatigue as well. So, you know. Yeah. And now the regen also gets faster as well, by the way. That's the whole thing with magic. For example, like the more magic you have, and for example, this is a pretty decent spell now. And stuff like that. Now, of course, keep in mind that theoretically what you can do is you can cast this spell, and then once you have this spell cast, and you regenerate full, then all of a sudden you can cast something that's worth 523, for example. So we could create something, for example, we could create eventually, basically, you cast Blessing of Wisdom, and then you have like a stronger version that has higher stats, and then basically, as your stats go higher, you get a bigger Magicka pool. Bigger Magicka pool equals higher, so eventually you will be able to cast one that has 45 magic, 100% of self, 45 intelligence, 100 points, 45 willpower, 100 points, and then all of them lasting for the 120 seconds and stuff like that, because yeah. I just want to check now a bit quick here. I want to check how expensive would a spell like that be? How expensive would it be to be self 100 here? I'm just going to check the spell, the cost, so we can know what it's required of us. So that's just pretty cheap so far. But then of course it's when you go with the attributes, that's when it's really start being like expensive and stuff. That's yes. Hopefully we can do this within this recording here. We're here just to check. So alright, then we cannot continue there. Yeah, that's the bug that happened one time when I thought that I couldn't add more here and stuff. That's yes. It might be that I just don't have enough cast. That's why it doesn't allow me to do it and stuff like that. But yeah. But yeah, for example, we'll just do that. So, you know, that's gonna be it for this time, you know, stuff that's yes. So I mean that's very useful and stuff that because you know because that also means, for example, that with our, for example, with the EX Deluxe Bomber or whatever it is, Deluxe Raging Stone, we can cast that a bunch of times without even improving Magic Pool, and the fact that the Blessing of Wisdom lasts for 94 seconds and it's 50 points in each, that's pretty decent. But yeah, but the fact that that is 378, we know, for example, that just getting that to 120 would be expensive enough, but the next step spell